right, so thank you all for coming out tonight. We're excited to share with you a little bit about UCLA's Global Internship Program in Argentina and Uruguay. My name is Andrew Bottom, and I am the Global Internship Program Manager at the International Education Office on campus. And so today I'm here with our colleagues from Puentes, who will be discussing specifically about our program in Argentina and Uruguay. So I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Anne Noguer from Puentes to discuss a little bit about the program and opportunities that you would have for virtual internships this upcoming summer.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And so as Andrew said, I'm Anne Noguer from Puentes Abroad. We're really excited to be partnering with UCLA's Global Internship Program to offer remote internship experiences with companies and organizations based here in Argentina and in Uruguay. Puentes, we coordinate professional and cultural immersion programs in our region, in Argentina and Uruguay. So today I'm just going to be focusing on telling you about our remote internship program, how it's structured, and the application process. First, just to introduce our team that will be working on the remote internship program that you'll be participating in. Like I said, my name is Anne Noguer. I'm the founder and CEO of Puentes Abroad. You'll also be getting to know my colleagues, Alicia McLaughlin, our Manager of Programs and Operations, and Maddie Morris, Manager of Development and Communications. Our remote program is structured in a way to make sure that you're getting a really immersive professional and cultural experience, having project-based work with thoughtful mentorship and having that international experience as well. The internship program dates for UCLA for the remote internship program are June 21st to August 13th, with flexible work hours of 20 to 30 hours of internship work per week that you agree on the hours with your internship supervisor, so that we have many of our remote interns who are doing their internship in parallel with other experiences, and that's one of the beauties of remote work. Also for UCLA, Andrew will be talking a little bit more about this later, but you would be enrolled in the summer A coursework, and that coursework will be taking place from June 21st to August 27th. So a little bit about why even do a global remote internship through Puentes. A really big benefit is being able to work from wherever you are, whenever you want, the flexibility involved that I already mentioned. So being able to define your work hours and having a flexible work schedule, also saving travel time and cost by working from home or wherever you'd like. With our program, you are guaranteed to have really meaningful and engaging project work that you'll be tackling. You'll also be gaining really useful virtual communication skills that are incredibly valuable in today's increasingly virtual workplace. And our program has a really strong focus on making sure that you're gaining cultural insights as well. And if you'd like to be focusing on your Spanish language skills, we'll make sure that you're improving those through your internship experience too. And finally, the network part is important for us with your building relationships with your colleagues at your internship site, as well as with your cohort of remote interns. So the key focus of our program is certainly the internship itself. So first I want to speak about that. The way that we structure our internships is we make sure that each internship experience is comprised of project-based work. So you'd be completing a specific project or projects during the duration of your internship, and you'd have ownership over those projects. And you'll be contributing directly to the mission objectives of the company or organization where you're working. And second, we make sure that each internship has really close mentorship so that you'll have a designated supervisor at the company or organization where you're interning who will be responsible for training you, overseeing day-to-day and week-to-week progress on your project work, and mentoring you, plus ongoing oversight by Puentes. And then we really look for high-caliber internship sites, working with different nonprofits, governments, government agencies, and businesses in really diverse, impactful fields. I know that we'll have UCLA students applying to the program from all different academic majors and departments. And so it's important to mention here the diversity of fields of interest that we have with our portfolio of internship opportunities, everything ranging from technologies and startups to law and human civil rights nonprofits, medicine, business, education, teaching, communications. So many different opportunities here, and internship placements are available in both Spanish and English. We make clear that the more Spanish you have, the more internship opportunities will be available to you when you're applying and interviewing, but we have many opportunities that can be done in English and have the same level of high quality project work that we're looking to offer for our internships. I also mentioned that you'll have ongoing oversight through Puentes, and this is a really important part of the program for us to make sure that each internship experience is as meaningful and engaging as possible. So even before your internship begins, we'll work with your supervisor and you to map out an internship work agreement that has the detailed project work plan and deliverables and expectations for the internship, so that everything's already set up so that you can hit the ground running when you're beginning your internship. Then we'll have some formal check-in points with you, your internship supervisor, and your Puentes staff mentor during the internship. One, the initial meeting during the first week to review again that project work plan and expectations to align everyone. Then the second, our mid-internship meeting, which will be halfway through, looking at the challenges, learning successes from the first part of the internship and looking ahead to goals for the remaining part of the internship. And then third, the closing meeting, which happens the last week of the internship and offers a space for reflection and looking forward as well. And then ongoing support throughout your internship. If anything comes up, that's what we're here for at Puentes, to help you navigate it and to learn as much as possible throughout your experience. So in addition to the internship itself, what really makes our program unique is the surrounding programming that we do to ensure that we're really developing your skills and networks professionally and culturally. So I want to talk a little bit more about that too. What complements your remote internship experience? First, working on the professional development side of things, we'll kick off the program with a remote work skills training seminar where we'll share with you best practices on how to work remotely successfully and communication skills, tech tools, and just overall tips on how to be successful in your virtual work experience. And then during the program, we'll have a one-on-one career coaching session with you on a topic of your choosing, the ones listed here: resume building, interviewing skills, informational interviewing, international job creation, or time and life management. And then also with our network development and cultural immersion, a really unique part of our program are the weekly cohort calls that we'll have with you and the rest of the cohort of Puentes remote interns. Here I want to make sure to mention that these won't only be your peer interns from UCLA, but the other universities that we work with, such as Princeton, University of Pennsylvania, UNC, Cornell, among many other universities, will be part of your remote cohort of interns. So it's a really wonderful, multidisciplinary, diverse group to get to know through the program. In our weekly cohort calls, we look at a different professional development theme each week and explore that theme, and then do a dynamic activity where you break out into small groups and explore that activity. Also in these weekly cohort calls, a really important component of them are internship experience presentations where you have shared learnings with your cohort of remote peers. And then our Puentes Presenta seminar series. This is a wonderful way to have additional cultural immersion through the program. We invite guest speakers to talk about different topics on Argentine and Uruguayan history and culture, global work trends, and recommendations for how to leverage your remote experience. And then you'll also, as a participant in the remote program, have access to the Puentes portal, which has information biographies of the entire remote cohorts to help you connect with your peer interns, has a calendar of activities and other resources for you too. And then of course, by participating in the program, you'll become part of an alumni network with our many interns from our different programs who are spread around the world doing really interesting things today. An optional part of our program that I do want to mention is the Spanish language development, our Spanish Jumpstart program. These are courses that can be group or individually that can be added on to your internship experience, either doing them before your internship begins or during your internship. This is important to mention that these classes are not a UCLA course and therefore not eligible for UCLA credit, but we do find that many interns choose to do some of these Spanish courses if they're looking to improve their language through the experience, because they find it to be a great way to really have personalized instruction from native speakers, either individually or in very small group classes. So this is something additional that you can choose to add on to your program. So with that, I want to tell you very briefly about the application process. You can submit your application through UCLA. You have here the link. We'll be posting this recording on the website as well, the UCLA website. There's a priority deadline of December 13th, a regular deadline of February 26th. And just want to, Andrew, would you like to walk through perhaps the first step of the process with UCLA?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Anne. So as Anne was mentioning, you'll apply directly through the UCLA website. The initial application is quite biographical, so just some general background information on yourself. In addition to that, there's a couple pieces of information that you'll be submitting. One is your resume, and so you'll want to make sure that you look over your resume really well before you submit it. Make sure it's proofread, spell checked, grammatically checked. This is what we'll be submitting from UCLA to Puentes that they'll be looking at prior to having your initial advising appointment. And secondly, there is 4 questions that we call our questionnaire of your motivation to enroll questionnaire. And those questions are posted on the website page as well for the virtual Argentina and Uruguay program. The questions ask you such things as, what's your motivation to intern virtually in this location? What are your career goals? Why do you think you're a great candidate for this program? Just to give us a little bit more information about yourself and to kind of sell yourself as a good candidate. We'll be sharing that information as well with Anne and her team at Puentes. And so it's really important to think thoughtfully through with those questions before you submit them. So I always encourage students to write those up prior on a Word document and then copy and paste them into the application, because there's no way to save it when you're completing the application yourself. And actually a little later in the presentation, I'll be able to show you what those questions look like. Once you submit your application through UCLA, I'll do an initial review of it, make sure that you meet the eligibility criteria. And then if you meet the eligibility criteria, I will then send you an email and get you in contact with Anne and her team over at Puentes. And so that's when you'll do your initial advising call. And so I'll hand it over to Anne from here.
Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. And so as Andrew said, we'll receive your application materials that you've submitted to UCLA. And we'll have a call with you to get to know more about your internship preferences and interest areas and do an initial brainstorming of where we think some good placements could be for you. And then based on your application materials and our conversation, we'll share your profile with different internship sites, different companies and organizations to see if they'd be interested in interviewing you. And where there's interest there, we'll set up interviews for you directly to speak directly with the internship supervisors at those companies and organizations. So after you have these interviews, we'll collect your feedback and your preferences, and we'll also collect the feedback of the companies and organizations that you've interviewed with, and we'll see where there's a match. We'll share those matches with you. We'll share your opportunities with you to see where we want to confirm your internship placement, making sure that you're excited about it and the internship site is excited about it as well. And then we'll confirm your internship placement. And as I mentioned before, we'll work on those pre-program steps like the internship work agreement, the remote work training webinar, and so on. So I'll pass it back over here to Andrew, if you'd like to share your slides.
So a couple quick things on the UCLA end I just wanted to share. So first of all, as Anna was saying, with Puentes, there's quite a few different areas where you could conduct an internship in, different career fields. The global internship tracks, as we call them through UCLA, are the College Scholars Program through the College Honors Department, Department of Education, Engineering, Global Affairs, which includes all the International Institute majors and minors, whether that's global health, global studies, international development studies, and international area studies, as well as our public affairs program. The eligibility for the UCLA Global Internship Program includes you must be a UCLA undergraduate student. You must have completed 90 units by the end of spring 2021. So that can include transfer credits or AP credits you received in high school. So just we want to make sure that you are an entering third year as of the summer of 2021. You must have a cumulative GPA of a 3.0 or above. If you are a transfer student and you don't have a UCLA GPA quite yet, that's okay. We just ask that you continue with a 3.0 as you start at UCLA, and we can look at your transcript from your community college when you apply. And then to be in good academic standing is the final requirement. These documents, as I mentioned before, that you'll need to prepare for your application include the resume and then the 4 questions for your motivation to enroll. And so again, these 4 questions are located on the UCLA Global Internship website under the Uruguay and Argentina program. You'll see a little drop down that says questions or documents to prepare for application. So it'll be pretty obvious, and you can prepare those in advance of your application. And then the academics, the courses that you'll be taking while you are conducting the virtual internship will follow the summer session A 10-week calendar. So that's June 21st through August 27th. So you'll notice that your actual internship is 8 weeks long, and that ends on August 13th. So you have a couple weeks of class left after you complete your internship. The coursework that you'll be taking includes a 195 if you're an engineering major, or a 195 CE course if you're any of the other tracks. And that is an internship course. That's mandatory. It's for 4 units. You'll be working with a TA here on campus at UCLA. It's sort of like an independent study in a sense, where you'll be speaking with your TA weekly or bi-weekly. I'm having meetings with them, talking about your internship experience. They'll have some, more theoretical readings you'll be doing, and you'll have a research project or a research paper that will be due at the very end of that course. So it's not a course where you're with other students physically, in a Zoom classroom, but you'll be working more like almost like an independent study, reflecting on your internship experience with your TA. In addition, if you would like to earn additional units, we have Community Engagement and Social Change 130, which is the Intercultural Communication in the Global Workplace course. That course is eligible for anyone to take, no matter what internship track that you're in. And so that is more of a traditional online course. So although it won't be asynchronous, where you're actually attending a certain lecture at a certain time, you will be using the classroom webpage to respond to different prompts. You'll have different projects you'll have to do throughout the time that you have your course. And so that's 4 additional units. So depending on the major that you're in, what internship track that you're following, that coursework may apply towards one of your major or minor credits. So you'll just have to look on your specific internship page of whether it does. The 195 and 195 CE course as well, depending on the major that you're in, can actually apply to some of the capstone requirements. So for public affairs, for education and college scholars, that applies towards the capstone requirement that you have for those majors. For global affairs, if you're an international institute major or minor, it will fulfill for most of those one of the elective requirements by petition. And if you are interested in applying for financial aid, please note you must take both courses, so a total of 8 units in order to be eligible for aid. So the total cost of the virtual program in Argentina and Uruguay, and that includes your tuition and includes all of the assistance with the placement and the ongoing assistance throughout your time on the program. For 4 units is $2,472, and for 8 units is $3,588. And so the main difference in those 2 prices is really just the credits, so the credit hours. So we follow the summer session credit hours of $279 a unit. So you'll notice this is a much more affordable program than the in-person programs, but yet you're still getting a great experience getting placed at an organization or company abroad. You have the cohort calls, you're having the cultural immersion with your other colleagues while you're doing this experience. So we still believe it's a great opportunity, and it provides you more flexibility. So, if you are, planning to work during the summer, or you need to be at home, or if you are actually unable to travel, let's say outside the US, it's a great opportunity to still complete a global internship while you're at the safety and comfort of your own home. For financial aid, if you'd like to apply for financial aid for this program, there is financial aid offered. So financial aid can include grants, scholarships, or loans. So if you are applying for financial aid, you must submit your FAFSA or your DREAM Act by the priority deadline for 2021, 2022. And so I believe that deadline is around March 1st or 2nd, right at the start of the month. And then for the global internship program, there are a couple additional forms you'll have to complete. So before the application deadline of February 26th, there's just a one-page document where you'll confirm that you plan to use financial aid to pay for your program. And then the UCLA Financial Aid Office has a specific form on My UCLA that they'll open usually around the start of April, and you'll complete that form in order to officially enroll in financial aid. The financial aid office will also provide financial aid workshops. Usually they offer 1 or 2 in December and then some in January and February for you to attend and learn a little bit more about what's offered. Please note that usually in the summertime, the financial aid packages tend to be a little bit more loan heavy. So the grants that are offered during the summer are the Pell Grant and the University Grant if you're eligible. The Cal Grant's not offered. That said, because the program is quite affordable, hopefully if you are eligible for those grants, that can cover quite a large part of the program fees. And then in addition, there'll be a loan component that you'll be offered either in the form of a Parent Plus loan or a private loan. And then just note again that you must be enrolled in those 2 courses if you wish to be financial aid eligible. And then finally, a couple additional things about scholarships. So we do have some scholarship opportunities for students to apply to. We have first the UCLA Global Internship Scholarship. For in-person programs, it is for $2,500. We are still figuring out whether it can be eligible for the virtual programs. We're hoping it can be, and so that will be updated hopefully very soon on our website. We're working on that right now. Additionally, if you're a global affairs student, there's a Kramer and Siebert Scholarship for $1,000. And then there's the Wang Middle Income Scholarship for $2,000, and that's for students who are considered middle income based on their FAFSA. So those 2 scholarships as well, we haven't heard either way whether they'll be offered to virtual students or not. These 3 scholarships will open in January. We're hoping that a few or all will be offered to virtual students, and so we will update that to you as soon as we can. The Kramer and Siebert and the Wang Scholarship are offered through the International Institute, so they're outside of our office, so we're still figuring out those details. Additionally, some external scholarships to think about. One is the Gilman International Scholarship. That scholarship offers between $2,500 and $5,000. That scholarship is for any student who's Pell Grant eligible, and it does include virtual internships. About 1/4 of students nationally actually do receive the scholarship. And I would say, just based on my own personal experience working at UCLA, a much higher percentage of UCLA students do receive the scholarship. So every year we definitely have students that receive this in other programs as well. And so I highly encourage you, if you are Pell Grant eligible, to apply. There is a project you must complete when you return back to campus, but it's definitely a great scholarship to apply to. Additionally, we have the Diversity Abroad Scholarship Database on our website, which depending on your own personal identity, your career field, your experience, there might be different scholarships nationally you can apply to. So I encourage you to go to our ieo.ucla.edu/scholarships webpage, which will show you all this information about these different scholarship opportunities. In addition, to learn a little bit more about scholarships in general and the application process, if you go to ieo.ucla.edu/glow, during our Global Learning Opportunities Week, we had a session based on our, or provided by our assistant director of scholarships. And so she talks a little bit more about the application process on there. So you'll click on the on-demand section of that website, and you can view the scholarship video there. And so before I hand it over back to Anne, I just wanted to mention that, again, my name is Andrew Bottom. I'm the Global Internship Program Manager at UCLA, and you can definitely reach out to me anytime you'd like regarding this program. My email is listed, abottom@ieo.ucla.edu, and more than happy to email with you or to schedule a Zoom one-on-one appointment to talk a little bit more in depth about any questions you might have. And I'll throw it back to you, Anne.
Wonderful, Andrew. Thanks. From our end, that was everything that we wanted to cover. If there are any questions, we're happy to. I'll also put up here just my contact information, so that if anyone would like to reach out to me directly, they certainly can. My email is ann@puentesabroad.com. And you can find there the website with all of the information about our remote internship program, puentesabroad.com/remote, and our social media information as well. But would love to just answer any questions now, and go from there.